We only got 2 weeks left in the regular season. So we all just sitting here waiting on the playoffs. So no agendas, no script. We just gonna talk. I think that's gonna be the move until the playoffs get here. We just gonna talk about what's happening, whatever comes to mind. I got all my guys with me. MJ, Trav, Germ, Ham. We still a little bit hungover. Some of us literally from the draft. So this is gonna be real light conversation, man. Fellas, I got stuff I want to talk about, but you know me, pass first. What y'all got on y'all mind, man? Let's just kick around what's going on in this wonderful world of basketball.
Man, I think these fans, man, just need to, get their mucus levels down and their alkaline up. That's all.
Shout out to the alkaline.
Gotta get your
I
alkaline.
got my detox water with me right here.
Yeah. I think that's the reason why a lot of people are so uneasy and so full of shit, because they detox. You got to detox from all that shit you put inside you. Ain't nothing wrong with drinking it, partake it from time to time, but at some point you got to cleanse. Y'all got too much mucus in you. Get that mucus up out you. Word to
Get that basketball mucus out you, man.
Get all that up out you.
Hey, man, you know what? I don't too much start it off like this, but let's go and get it out the way while we can, man. LeBron's trying to come back tonight.
Cool.
I think he's coming back because he's at 16.
He need to right now.
He
need to get his win back up.
Mm-hmm.
All of that. You know what I'm saying? Because he's been out about 3 weeks.
Yes.
Yeah.
They can't take no more blows, man.
I think he's missed 22 straight games. It's like or something like that. He's been gone for a while, so he need to get back, and Lord knows they need him, because if they in that 6 hole, you gotta see the Clippers. You gotta see the Clippers early. Yeah, ain't good.
So only same one from championship, and they happen to repeat from that 6 seed. That's Houston.
So let me just say this. Here's the most interesting part of this. That's not even a game that we need to be paying attention to tonight.
Okay.
We got a battle for the number 1 seed tonight.
Yeah.
With the Jazz and the Suns at 10 Eastern.
Yeah.
And the Jazz and then they are currently literally 1 game behind each other. The Suns are 1 game behind the Jazz. 1 game behind in the losses, 1 behind in the wins. This right here is that game right here that Phoenix can take this number 1 seed and go ahead, stroll on down, ease on down the road.
Instead of 1-1 or a 2-1 situation right now, as far as the tiebreaker concerned.
Let me see if I can find. I'll get that for you. Y'all continue to converse.
That's going to be real important, right there.
This game is AKA the Chris Paul MVP candidacy.
Which leads me to right where I want to go.
Okay.
I made my decision on MVP. I made my choice. If he don't win it, I don't have a backup pick. Check 1 in the box for Chris Paul for MVP. That's my pick. MJ gave us such great conversation on this last week in the award show. I thought about it some more. And to me, the quote unquote numbers don't add up, but it's the same thing as MJ pointed out. It is Jason Kidd the first 2 years in the Nets.
Yep.
It's Steve Nash the subsequent years after that.
Yep.
In Phoenix, I don't even gonna say if they finish with the 1 seed. They can finish 2 for me.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
I will still take Chris Paul for MVP. And if there is no backup choice now.
I'm glad you said that, because coming off of what MJ hit us with last week, coming off of your prediction right there, your selection rather, I asked the question the other day in the group and on my main wall in regards to Chris Paul, Phoenix Chris Paul, and Phoenix Steve Nash in regards to this MVP thing. And if I'm only doing this to make it, to point out the hypocrisy that people have with it. Not that I wave and beat the drum or wave the flag for Steve Nash, but if it's about numbers, production, winning, win percentage, everything else in that regard, 2015 and 2016 for Steve Nash is better than what Chris Paul is right now. And I'm not against Chris Paul getting the nod for first team or MVP.
Absolutely.
But why is that? And I know the answer, but I'm just gonna put it out here on the show. Why is that backlash like that for Steve Nash?
Because he's a white point guard. What the hell? That's why.
That's exactly what it is.
If he was taller,
what it is,
then we could be like, okay, we get it. But for him to be playing the position that supposedly the guard's supposed to be playing and dominating it and being Canadian, I mean, look, we just gotta call out what it is, man. Race and prejudice extremely existed in everything that we do. It's in our food. It's in everything.
True that.
I mean, we just gotta get the mucus out, man. The old man, I was just talking about it.
This is a mucus-free show.
Mucus-free show.
So the lack of alkaline, does that result in just free throws as well?
Mm-hmm.
Memphis, we got to get us some alkaline, Memphis, okay? Everybody in the city, just get you some alkaline water. Come see me. I'm at South Farmers Market. I got it for the low.
I love it. But about the Chris Paul thing, the reason why I just campaign so hard for it is because, ironically, the two things that get better with age when it comes to basketball, which is shooting and IQ, are the things that we scoff at the most as fans. I find that very interesting. People are trying their best not to give the credit that Steph Curry deserves when he went ridiculous, because they were able to do it in the rec league a few times. They think, this is not impressive. No, it's very impressive to do it at this level, at this caliber. And for the work that he put in to be able to become as automatic as he is, it's extremely impressive. And, that's what I'm saying. It's a skill that just gets better with age or remains the same with age. I mean, Big Shot cousin, who was Craig Hodges, he can go out there right now and probably hit for about 2 minutes straight. And he about the tender age of 60. Like, once you do it, it's just what it is. And with IQ, I feel like because there's so much athleticism, so much speed, I feel like the developers of the game, or the people, the powers that be of the game, got lazy with teaching the IQ portion to the point where they just said, fuck it, we'll think for you. Which means now, in this positionless basketball, no position really requires thinking.
Right.
So when you have a guy that can think their way through, and if you think about it, no pun intended, look at the people who won the last championship. All of them have high IQ. Not just they're good, but they have IQ too. LeBron has a very high IQ. KD has a very high IQ. Like, these dudes know how to play. They know how to see the game. And guards seeing the game is not getting enough value to me. And it should get more value. That's why I just, said what I said about CP3, because he's surgical right now.
Yeah, his game management, control of the game, just manipulating the chessboard at all times. He don't turn it over. He still get his 20. He's still getting. He's playing incredible ball, and you look at the development of everybody else. You look at what Mikal Bridges is now developing into. You look at what even his backup, Cameron Payne, has become like a legitimate NBA guard. Like, he's bringing guys along, and that team is not a second seed in the West. They were terrible last year, and they didn't add anything. They added him, and
That's it.
So I'm not taking any more MVP. My MVP vote is closed as of today.
Yep.
It ain't nobody else for me.
So the tiebreaker aspect of what Trav asked me, actually Phoenix, the Jazz need to win tonight because they were tied. Phoenix has actually beat them 2 out of 3.
2 out of 3. So this their fourth time playing, correct?
Mhm.
Yes, but does it show like a point margin, like who beat who, the
Yeah.
worst or anything
So
like
when the Jazz won, they beat them by 19 points.
that? Okay.
When Phoenix won the second game, which was December 31st, they won by 11. And then when they won on April 7th, they won by 4 in overtime.
So 11-4, that's 15, 19.
Yeah,
Yeah. So if the Jazz win, they'll stay at their top spot. If they win, they'll beat them 3-1, they up.
Yeah. So if they finish with the same record, that's gonna be, pretty much, Phoenix will have the head up for them to be number one seed.
Correct. Because they got it by point spread differential right now.
Mm-hmm.
That's 15-19. So that's a 4-point diff.
Now, here's what. Now, this is we freestyle, y'all. We just talking.
right.
I wanted to bring this one because I think it's the Chris Paul's the MVP, but to me the most interesting dude in the league.
Before you say that name, I'm finna throw a little dirt in there real quick. Who's the backup point guard for the Phoenix Suns right now?
Cameron.
And who was he bagging up before? And did he tailor along well before you mentioned this person?
Yep. It's funny how that's happened. Russell Westbrook. Russell Westbrook confusion.
5, 6, 7, 8. Fair play.
So I want everybody to chip in on this one because Russell to me, man, we all, Ham is a true historian. We all studied history this game. I don't think there's gonna be another player who's as hard to judge historically as Russell Westbrook.
I was thinking about this earlier.
I think he's the difficult guy to judge. And I kind of thought about this on the Gilbert Arenas podcast. Gilbert Arenas said, they named a top point guard. I think Gilbert had like 5. I think there are other people who on the other end of the spectrum who feel like Russell probably ain't even top 15 among the point guards.
Or even rank him among the point guards, period.
There are people I've seen in our group who feel like Russell is one of the greatest players and one of the top 15 of all time, period. There are other people, like, the opinion on him is so all over the place. So, fellas, rapid fire, man. Nobody needs to be on mute. It might even be a slight argument. We don't do fake arguments. Russell Westbrook standing in history as of today. Where is he?
He's right there. He's right there. He's on some stuff that's surpassing Oscar.
Yeah.
Four of his 5 years, he have averaged or on pace of averaging a triple-double. Here's where I stand with Russell Westbrook. Russell Westbrook, he's got all the makings of red. He's first class red carpet. He keeps this stuff up. It's again first class red carpet Hall of Fame. But the things that I just can't stand by is with the elite players and they getting this elite praise is they are winning and they are taking those steps. They're going to the second, they're going to the third round. They're going to the finals. They're going to the Western Conference Finals. They're getting there. Ever since KD done left Russ, he ain't been past first round
once. And he had James Harden with him for that.
So again, the individual accolades that he got, they are, believe me, us here at 94 Feet of Life, we are not letting that be unrecognized through him.
No.
But I can bust my tail all day long. But if I'm busting my tail and I'm not getting there, again, you gonna recognize me busting my tail, but at the end of the day, where I'm going with this?
Germ.
Russ for me, man, he incredible talent. Let's just start there. I don't have any issue with Russ per se for me. Russ is just he's a smaller version of what LeBron is to the league to me. He's a guy who does everything on the court. He's going to have the ball 35% of the time, 9 out of 10 times. And all those other things like that. He's going to rebound. He's going to do all of those small things. He's a terror in transition. Nobody wants to step in front of him or any of those things. So, I mean, there's a lot of things to like. Here's the issue, and this is just me, just from a logistic standpoint. You're talking about a guy who is ball dominant, but doesn't have a unique skill set outside of athleticism. So when we take away that part of the game, that's what changes his whole meaning to the basketball flow, to the flow of the basketball game. So if you look at it, his best statistical seasons have been without KD, without Harden, but the most productive that he's been has been with those two players. Ironically, one of them is one of the most prolific, efficient scorers we've ever seen, and the other guy is just a savant of basketball in his own regard, which is James Harden. James Harden makes the game easy for everybody who plays with him, because you literally, even if he doesn't have the ball, he's somebody that teams are going to deny the ball and overplay so much that he's going to give other people driving lanes to the baskets, backdoor cuts, all types of other things just from his presence alone. So playing with those two guys has been a big part of his success, and there's a reason why. That Oklahoma City team, it's a reason why Trav feared him. And I just want to say altogether, Russ is best as a guy that can play with guys under those molds. That doesn't mean he's not a good player in his own right. It just says that every player needs other players to play off of. And those guys were just perfect for him. Like, it's really nothing else I can say. I don't have any negative thing to say about the dude. Motor is incredible. I mean, we talking about everything you could possibly want in the player outside of he just can't shoot. It's the shooting, the guard that can't shoot. That's it.
Ham, you were a historian of the game, so we know. Russell historically, amongst all of the great guards, point guards, whatever you want to call it, that have played, where is he right now for you?
Y'all know I don't do rankings, but I kind of put guys on tiers. For me personally, especially after the stories and the footage that I got later on, Russ is up there on that tier with like cats like World Be Free, Fat Lever. You know what I'm saying? I could even say he's a tier above, really, because the accomplishments that he put down with it. MVP, led the league in scoring, things of that nature too. World Be Free led the league in scoring too. He was putting up 30 a night like that. Matter of fact, him and George Gervin got one of the classic all-time battles for the top scorer in the league, going back to like late 70s, early 80s, one of those. I have to look that up. But the thing with Russ is that he could probably be looked at and revered on a higher level than those cats that I mentioned, largely due to the era and the popularization of the era that we in. Everything is on full blast. He's marketing it that way, even as that brand of a superstar. If he don't get back to an NBA Finals, if he don't get back deep in the playoffs ever again, one thing that we know that man we can never discredit that dude. Big Shot, you mentioned this the other day. He ain't shortchanged us on shit at all. He max effort. I can appreciate a dude that if he gonna fuck up, he gonna fuck up going 100 miles an hour full speed with right intent. I can live with that. You take that with him. This is something that we've understood for years.
Yeah.
It comes with the package with Russ. You love it 1 minute when he come down and he stick the big dagger three, or that you thought was a dagger three. Come back down next two possessions, he turned the ball over. But he's doing this not as a clumsy dude. He's trying to make a play. I can respect that. And as you get older, because I was one who was often criticized as being a Westbrook hater. I'm like, no, I ain't no Westbrook hater. I actually used to defend Russ. I'm just letting y'all know why this shit ain't gonna win. And it's not. It is check it. I don't even blame him for it. I look at it. This is the dynamic that was created around him. This was a symbol, and for him to be put in that position, kind of similar to why James Harden was like, I really didn't like playing that style in Houston, but I had to play that style. What we found out later, where we were looking at it at that time, like, no, this how you want to play. I think it's a little different in that case with Russ, but then Russ is also taking that ownership of like, if it's gonna be on me, it's gonna be on me. I ain't blaming nobody. I'll take the heat. I can still work with it in stride. And everybody that plays on the team with that dude adores him as a teammate. That stands out more than anything to me.
And that's the thing. I know MJ obviously does, MJ basketball trainers. What I think is so interesting, MJ, about him is that, and Trav hit on this a little bit. I don't want to say this with any disrespect to this man.
Huh.
But he's not the most skilled guard out there. But he's so competitive. He's such an unbelievable athlete that he's almost athleted for lack of a better word. He's athleted his way to this unbelievable career without being a great shooter. Without being, we know he struggled at the free throw line. We watched him at the free throw line struggle. So I just think he's a confusing guy to judge because Trav touched on it. The lack of playoff success without Kevin Durant is there.
All right.
That's there. And it can't be ignored. But what he's done individually is so great. MJ,
can I ask you one thing before you go? Because I know MJ gonna finish the conversation.
Damn.
I just don't want. I know you. So I just want to say this, and this is a direct shot and a challenge.
Okay.
To everybody. I want y'all to give Westbrook the same energy that y'all give LeBron James. Go ahead, MJ.
I've been doing it since forever.
The main thing is, it's like, I'm going to start off with a metaphor. If you see a brick building with a door and you see a human being open the door and walk through it, how many people will watch it? That's normal, ain't it? Ain't nobody watching it. You see another human being and he's running full speed into the brick building. Get up, dust himself off, and he runs full speed again into the brick building. Eventually, he's going to draw a crowd. That's Chris Paul and Westbrook. If you go all the way back from an AAU standpoint, it's always that one little guard, ain't nothing special about him, that just keep making the right play. And then you got this other dude that's reckless as hell, but he's such a gifted athlete, and he does so many things that as humans we're not used to seeing, that he always ends up playing on Sunday in the All-Star Showcase. Whereas this kid who keep making the right decision, we just like, meh. That's not Westbrook's fault. That's our fault as society. We would rather see somebody run through a brick wall than to congratulate the person who found the door and just walked in. For whatever reason, the harder we see our athletes make it, the more that we give them credit and notoriety for it. Even though that in order to win in this league, everybody had to evolve and adapt and break some of their individual rules to win. Don't believe me? Go look at Jordan. Jordan used to be Westbrook until Phil Jackson told him, we are not going to win this way. You need to get this ball to your team. And to make sure you get this ball to your team, not only am I going to put you in this position for the first half of the game, in which you can't bring the ball up, you're going to be right here where the center usually is. I'm also not going to even put you in for the first 6 minutes of the fourth quarter to make sure that you don't try to take over this game. And he had no choice but to buy in because he kept losing.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas you got like Allen Iverson, same premise as Westbrook. Run through that brick wall and you see this little guy taking all of this punishment and you just revering him for his heart and courage. When in all actuality, there could have been things that AI probably could have did that would have helped him win in Denver.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I
And
mean,
they didn't get out of the first round in Denver, so good point.
but quite the contrary, Phillips go there and they get to the Western Conference
They
Finals.
get to the conference finals, right?
Just off of a different mentality of playing basketball. And they both
Right.
had the same coach. Hey, I had Larry Brown. Phillips had Larry Brown.
Sure did.
True.
So it's the same teaching. So you can't say it ain't teaching. Just some guys want to win really bad. Their way.
Bless you.
Thank you.
2 times.
Get it? I'm getting that mucus out.
The mucus,
So some guys want to win, and they are determined to win their way. They are determined to get through the building by running through the brick wall. And some people are going to cheer it, and other people are going to say, hey, it's a door right there.
Exactly.
Definition of insanity is what?
Doing the same thing.
Doing the same thing over and over again and getting the same result.
And expecting different.
And expecting different.
And the reason I bring this conversation up, fellas, is because I just think it's going to be really interesting to see how he's viewed.
No, they're going to love him. Just like they love AI. Just like how they love T-Mac.
But think about it. But think about it. Think about his career. And I will, this is not even shade or anything like that, but bringing in some of Travis's guys. Think about Russell Westbrook's career versus like Tony Parker or Manu Ginobili.
Mm.
Now, I've
Wow.
seen different lists. We always encourage you to make your own list.
Yeah.
But I've seen lists of like all-time great guards. They start going one through whatever.
Mm-hmm.
I've seen lists that have no Russell Westbrook anywhere to be found, but do have Tony Parker and Manu Ginobili.
Yeah.
And this is not throwing shade at Trav or the Spurs.
No.
I totally understand because
how he's viewed is just going to be so interesting.
I done seen him skull drug us. Plenty. But I done also, how you got people and you be like, let them keep going. Like, perfect example. Muhammad Ali, George Foreman. Thriller in Manila.
Very good one.
Mm-hmm.
Foreman is the big guy. Muhammad Ali, come on. I welcome it. I got you coming this 7 to 8 round. And that's exactly Russell Westbrook and the other NBA guards that have gotten the best of him.
Man, you just hit on it because as soon as you said that they ran that 8th round going forward, I thought about Dame from 2 years ago, and we called it then before the series, losing in town. And Dame came out in the first 2 games, and he was butter. He was like hitting them for like 30. The game 3, they played about even. Oklahoma City got the W. After that, it all came back.
It was the game, and it was the game where Westbrook, because he's Westbrook, did the Dame time, did the rock the Dame.
Hey, that was game 3. That was game 3 that Friday night. I remember.
Hey, even with that, like, that's against another first ballot Hall of Fame guard.
Right.
I can't really knock that, but I look at Westbrook and I see here's the epitome of Russell Westbrook, that series against Utah, where Ricky Rubio was point guard. That is Westbrook in a nutshell.
That's him all day. Go ahead.
Ricky Rubio is the 5th option on the team. Ricky Rubio ain't even thinking about scoring the basketball. However, for the first 2 games of that series, his shot felt good for whatever reason, and he made the open shots that was designed to be given to Ricky Rubio because you didn't want Donovan Mitchell shooting. You didn't want Joel Ingles shooting, who was lights out during that series. Everything was designed to make Ricky Rubio beat you. And the first 2 games, he made the shots. Now, just like in any playoffs, you're playing percentages. I don't think Rubio was going to make shots 4 out of 7 times. But because Russell Westbrook took it personal, he decided to guard Ricky Rubio full court and get in foul trouble and take himself completely out the game. Meanwhile, while he's guarding full court, Ricky Rubio gets to do what he wanted to do all along, which is pass it to the person or the score. But this is what goes back to what I state running through the brick wall. Why are you pressuring a guy that doesn't want to score? Why are you trying to dominate a guy that is the 5th option on the team?
He's competitive, and as Jerm talked about, his motor and his competitive nature is his greatest strength, but it will also get you killed.
Yeah, because in the heat of battle, just think about if you at war and you in enemy's line and you hiding and you waiting for the perfect time to be able to hit the element of surprise. But you have one of your shoulders who just run out and say, "Ah!"
That's Russell.
They gonna blow that whole area up.
Mm-hmm.
Mission is defeated because he just couldn't wait and just execute what we're trying to execute. We can't wait for you to go kill. We're not holding you back from killing. It's just a time we need you to kill, and it's an approach you have to take when you kill.
And what's the simplest thing for that dude that yelling with that damn gun with that knife on there? Pop up.
One time.
Shout
out to the folks in the comments, especially Coach Barry. Coach Barry said he said we better follow up off Russ, y'all. Here's the thing.
Let's sum this up.
The full picture of Russ. Like, this is
Love Russ.
Wait, Jerm, go ahead but this is not slander or criticism.
No. This is just
everything.
Pay some respect.
This is some respect to him for the last 12 years. This is everything he is. Go ahead, Jerm.
If y'all want to sum this up and put it into a comic book, Russ is the Hulk before he was the Red Hulk.
I like that.
That's all it is. Before he now, if Russ ever matures and understands when to use, it's the same thing when we talk about with guards. When a guard know that they faster, they stronger than everybody else, and they have all of these abilities, once you know as a guard you can get wherever you want on the floor, you don't have to do it every play. You just have to know when it's feasible for you to use your powers for good. Once he learns to use his powers for good and doesn't have the gas pedal, you can't go 100 miles an hour if you're not on a straightaway.
And I actually created a team in my head as to a team that would be perfect for him to win, because he just needs a specific skill set of guys to be able to bring out what he does best. So I think if he was on a team with LeBron, because LeBron wants you to kill those first 3 quarters because it's taking pressure off him. He wants you to be a scorer. He wants you to look for your bucket because LeBron would rather be a playmaker than a scorer. That doesn't mean he's not going to score. LeBron is a cerebral guy. So if he has a guard that's at your head the whole game, like how Kyrie used to be at guys' head the whole game, it makes it easier for him to pick you apart cerebrally. Mm-hmm. And, just add a shooter that doesn't really require the ball, add some guys that's going to do the dirty work but can catch it, finish Russell Westbrook dimes, because he loves diming off to the bigs who can finish. You build a team like that, then he's going to win a ring. He just never had that because, again, during the time he had KD was, you would rather for him to be a scorer than be what LeBron is. And even then, KD would never do what LeBron does better than LeBron. Just like LeBron can't do what KD does better than KD.
Man, we can talk, simple. Dude, we can talk about Russ. We can have a whole hour session on Russ.
We could.
But man, Big Shot, let's talk about your boy, his college teammate.
Hey,
what's going on, man?
cares?
Hey,
You
man,
know what?
I
Y'all
would have
know
sent him. I would have sent him a gallon of alkaline water.
he literally.
I
Kevin, I got this detox water right here for you.
would have sent that to him.
You know what it is, and you know what's crazy about Kevin Love? What's weird about another Kevin Love? I had almost forgotten about him. Legitimately, like when he had this incident, this temper tantrum this week, I was like, oh yeah, that's Kevin Love.
Mental health, man.
I was like, and I just think Kevin, this is a case, and you know, where sometimes getting your money, you get your money, you also sign up for the other part.
How much it costs for help?
And that Cleveland team, when LeBron decided that he was done. Now, Jerm, you probably got it in front of you. I know you got it in front of you. When did Kevin Love resign for Cleveland?
If I'm not mistaken.
That was 15.
How long was that contract?
Oh, no. He signed. He
Because
signed.
the deal went shorter, so he got a new deal too. So.
What was the last money he got?
Hold on 1 second. Get you. Go ahead. Keep talking amongst yourselves. I'll get that right now for you.
So while Jerm's looking that up, Ham, I'm kicking over to you. When you started, what did you think?
The same thing we've been saying for the last 3 years: free Kevin Love. Get this man out of this purgatory. But I truly understood everything that was with it. It's like, dude, why would I even criticize you for that through all of what just the basketball agony that you've gone through, as well as, dude battles mental health and depression, and he's very public about that. You know what I'm saying? So just well, what the hell moment? You know what I'm saying? I ain't had no problem with it. In fact, I took humor with it, and I give him a salute. He's human, regardless of how much he got paid, because Bron got him over 100. You know what I'm saying? Just to be there in Cleveland. But he's still a competitor at heart. He still wants to win. He still wants to have the best chance and shot at winning. So, granted, it's not going to happen in Cleveland with that cast. Not to diss them. Like Cornflake said on Fresh Prince, I don't mean to diss you guys. You know what I'm saying?
Cornflake a fool.
So he basically signed for in the 2018-2019 season. He is signed through. Let's see. Hold on.
Extension, right?
Flip.
He got an extension, I think.
Okay. So we got 2019 to 2023 is when it runs out. 2023, that summer is when he's a free agent.
Oh, he signed in summer 2019. Okay.
Yeah. So pretty much this situation, just to put it into perspective, the man averaging 30 mil a season.
MJ asked the question though. He said, "How much it costs for mental health?
What's the price of health?
What's the price of it? He's spending more curing than he is receiving from his contract. Just ask Metal World Peace.
And I'm not trying to be in the main.
Just ask.
I ain't trying to be in that main checkbook or nothing like that either. But he also lives in New York City.
So he's spending
high taxes, everything.
He's spending more than he's kind of spending more than he's receiving. I mean, you got to check your health when you in a condition like that. You got to check your health, and then his cost of living. That's Kevin Love, man. It's Kevin Love.
So let's just have this conversation just objectively for 1 second here too.
Man, from a basketball standpoint, you just can't do what he did.
Right.
You can't do that.
I just feel like when LeBron left, when Kyrie left, LeBron left, it probably would have been in your better interest. It may not have been as lucrative, but it may have been your better interest to just go ahead and get out.
Yeah. Should have thought about that. Should have thought about that buyout long and hard.
It might have been just better to say, you know what? I got my ring. I've made plenty money previous to this. Maybe I end up in Portland at that time for lesser money. Mm-hmm. Maybe I don't get the big bag in Portland. But for my own sake, overall, it might have been better just to just leave that on the table.
He could have came to the bluff. You would have had him. I know I had him.
Y'all supposed to been had.
He was drafted by the bluff. Oh, yeah.
He was drafted by the bluff.
You Memphis people and you Mississippi folks, y'all love soliciting, man. Leave them folks alone.
No, that's true.
Hey, man.
That's true.
No. You're supposed to go home.
Tell him, Jerm.
No, that's true. That's what
always trying to get all the players.
They traded that. Memphis traded
all
that.
The players. Hey, they got mucus in their system. MJ, give them a peel.
Man, that pilot show hit you hard down south.
Jerm,
the bluff got mucus. The bluff got mucus for sure. I'm letting you know.
And let me tell you, it's a good thing Ham don't work in the front office for the Grizzlies. The tampering charges would be through the roof.
Hey, they always trying to get all the good players, man. Why?
Hey,
we can't draft them. That's why. Y'all see how static I got about 12.
Hey, man. Look, I'm going to be honest with you. That's the funniest part of this whole thing, though. It just be a good fun that I like to mess with you and Trav, because y'all always be having trades ready.
We got a reason. We gonna find us a reason, True. You gotta think about it from this perspective, True. We drafted the dude, traded him for a dude who ended up getting kicked out of the league for dope.
Man,
but
dude.
see, don't talk. But this show,
and I like Juice, but still.
Let me put y'all on some worldwide people that's watching us today. We do our thing. But I tell you one thing, we ain't gonna find more homes for people than Jerm. We're not.
It's true.
Hey,
Just as much as we want, he's gonna find a way to get him out and go somewhere else.
To be fair,
call him U-Haul.
Hey, Jerm is not only the realest. Jerm is Western Union.
Hey, we gotta get him out of there.
Jerm is the currency exchange of the NBA. If you want to change your money. What your boy say at Scarface? I just change $1 bills. That's all. That's done.
And then not only that, Jerm gonna get aggravated with the folks about it. On top of that, he gonna pull out the PO box. He gonna pull out the pen like he Chris Jericho trying to get the list signed. You know what I'm saying?
Jerm is Jerry Maguire.
Jerry Maguire. That's exactly what he is.
Hey, you know what? From now on, I'm Jerry Maguire. Fine.
I like
the money.
Hey. Where the whistle at? Where the whistle at? We good? We got it.
Hey. Before we wrap up, fellas, we gonna try to keep this about another maybe about 5 minutes max. Rapid fire, man. Anything else rapid fire y'all want to bat around before we wrap up? 16 days left in the regular season, man. I feel like my basketball clock is all off. I feel like I'm supposed to be watching like the end of the first round, man. It's throwing me off. So 16 days left in the regular season. What we got?
Real quick, I'll go first. I'm gonna run real quick down the standings real quick. As we said, we got about 16 days left with everything going down. So we got Nets at 43-20. They are currently the 1 seed. Philly at 41-21. Bucks at 38-24. Knicks at 35-28. Hawks at 34-29. Celtics at 33-30. Heat at 33-30. Hornets, who are currently the 8th seed, are at 30-32. Pacers at 29-33. And we got Washington at 28-34. That's currently your standards 1 through 10 in the East.
Let's stop right there. Let's talk about the East real quick. I said I'm not a fan of the play-in. I think most of y'all are not. However, a Miami-Washington play-in series? No, is it 7-8 or 9-10? That plays,
thought it was. I think it's. I'm not sure. I thought it was
7 and 8. I think 7 and 8 play each other, and the winner gets the 7, 9, and 10 play each other. The winner that gets the 8. That's the one I read.
However it worked out, I would love for us to get Miami-Washington Because the two smokiest people in the NBA will play.
Jimmy Butler versus
Jimmy and Russ.
Sign me up for that one.
So that brings me joy. Like Anita said, that brings me joy right there. I'm with that.
For one game. One.
For one game.
And I'm gonna tell you the series don't sign me up for if it's a play-in. Is don't sign me up for Indiana Boston. I don't want to watch that.
No.
Cool on that.
I wouldn't watch it if Chuck Person was endorsing alkaline water.
You know what? 30 years ago, they actually did play in the first round too.
I know.
When you said Chuck Person, I was like, they sure did play.
Let me tell you something. That might be something to put in the group one day. Least talked about great first round series.
Bird and Chuck.
Boston and the Pacers.
Bird and Chuck.
That was a hell of a series. That was the old best of. Shout out to the old best of five.
Best of five.
And real quick, just to throw this all into perspective for everybody of why it's so big, because currently right now the Bucks are 4.5 games out of first place, but after that the Knicks are 8 games, and then the 8th place Hornets are 12.5. So 4.5 games separate these teams as we get ready to go through the last 16 games, and we got a lot of games where the Hawks tonight, they play the Sixers. Mm-hmm. Hawks are on business where they may start to slide. They can't afford to slide right now.
They've been playing well though without Trey.
Also playing well.
No, Bogdanovich is definitely a dude who, like,
he can play.
He's cleansed. He's playing with a clean bill of health.
Jerm, go to the West for us one time with the stand, real quick.
So right now we got of course we already said the Jazz and the Suns play each other, but we got 45-17. We got 44-18. We have the Clippers at 3 at 43-21, 42-21. That's our Nuggets. The Lakers are at 36-26, which is a game ahead of the Mavericks at 35-27, who own the tiebreaker. Who owned the tiebreaker against them.
All the time, right.
And then we got the Trailblazers at 34-28.
Which is
the Grizzlies,
7, right?
Yep. And the Grizzlies are currently the 8th seed at 31-30. Now, here's what's funny. The Grizz own the tiebreakers over the Trailblazers as well.
Right.
And then at 9, we got the Spurs, them shot-making ass people. And then we got the Stephen Currys at number 10.
Spurs. Hey, I'm gonna tell y'all like this. I looked at that schedule. That's murder's row for San Antonio. They can
it's bad.
They can easily drop to 11.
I'm gonna go look at it now.
No, but the one thing about San Antonio is because they're a young team, they're going to get up for those games. So they're going to play their best basketball because they get to go against guys that they think is the one.
I'm talking about they got to play like Miami. All them folks.
Now to tell you the team that I'm worried about in that group, I'm worried about because I just don't know where you go from here. If this is either a play-in flame out or you get dealt with you play Utah or Phoenix and you get dealt with in the next round, and that's Portland.
Yep.
I just don't know how many times can you rejigger this roster around Dame and CJ and it don't get you nothing.
I mean, but what you got to think, like, how many teams won, like, in history? It's just set up for the mid-major team. If they get rid of them or they try to trade for somebody else, they're going to only put themselves further in purgatory.
I'm not right, and MJ, I'm not even asking for I'm not asking for them wanting to be traded. I just don't know what more you're supposed to do.
Blow it up. They got to pull what Atlanta did.
What you supposed to do?
That's the only thing they can do. Blow it up. Be in basketball hell for 10 years and hope you get Trae Young part 2 and try to start over. It sucks. I know.
I'm with you on that, MJ. But here's the thing, right? Let's be realistic about this right now. And I mean, I know we wanted to get out of here, but let's just be realistic about this. In the situation that we in currently, right now, if you put CJ helps what team right now? in the league do you think? What team do you think CJ goes to and he helps them immediately become maybe even a better or more dangerous team?
Houston, Orlando, Chicago. All the teams that's not in the playoffs, he helps them. They ain't saying they're going to make the playoffs, but he helps them.
Now, on the flip side, do you get rid of Dame or do you keep him?
Oh, you can't get rid of that.
You have to keep
Dang, you just signed. You just made him do a good contract. You just extended him.
If you're poor,
that's why I'm asking. When you say blow it up, how far are we gonna blow this up?
No. You ride it. I ain't mean blow it up. I meant to say you ride it out to that.
Okay.
Start the hell over.
I think that's what we have to do. I just don't know what you do with it after a certain point.
You gotta ride it.
Like, are you just gonna you have this great backcourt?
Big Shot, how long did you keep your college whip when you was in Grambling before you upgraded?
Let's see.
Exactly. That's how long they need to keep Dame. until
you know what? Yeah, I held on to the old girl
until
for
you
a minute.
can't take it to get a diagnosis, or until you can't take it.
I held on to the old girl for a minute. It's true. It's true.
Let it go. Go until it can't go no more.
It's true.
That's a question for the people. Let's
have some fun. Let's have some fun. Hey, Jeremy Maguire.
We'll go till 3:30. We'll go another 8 minutes. Go ahead.
Jeremy Maguire, Jamal Murray, and 2 first-round picks for Dame Lillard. If you Denver, do you try?
Hell no.
You can try.
No.
Try.
You can ask me what you want. You can ask me if I'm gonna give you $1. You can ask me. Whoa.
Y'all know my phrase.
I'm gonna tell
you. It don't hurt to call. It don't hurt to call.
I think the phone call don't hurt, but I wouldn't.
Yeah, but I'm gonna tell you your mucus levels are high. I'm gonna tell you.
I think if you're a squad like Portland, a franchise that has never been able to attract the big fish free agent, anything Portland has ever gotten, they drafted. Anything they've ever gotten was drafted. You just can't be in the market to give away guys who, 1, are great players and 2, want to be there. You don't have the luxury. You don't have LA luxury, Miami luxury, where you can go find another.
I think Portland's biggest pickup to me, and they picked them up because the league didn't want them.
Melo.
That's the biggest pickup Portland had never had in history.
Second biggest. They picked up Sean Kemp with 20 more pounds on him.
Yeah. Well, I think he's bigger than Sean Kemp as a signee.
But you think of their best teams. They all took the Jailblazers was all teams and was like all these badass dudes that nobody else.
Oh shit!
Team for the cast off.
Hey, and shout out to Let's Get Technical podcast. They had Dane Stoudemire on there. He made a really valid point. That's why I can't play. He stated after that game 7, he took LA to game 7, and y'all blew it up completely the next year. They didn't even let them run it back. So you can't blow this team up in the name of the 2001 Jailblazers that you blew up for no reason. Why did you bring in Dale Davis and Sean Kemp when you didn't have to? You could have just kept the same team and ran it back.
Run it back, man. Run it back.
Classic example of how the front office will wreck your whole shit.
So they will. I just don't know, man. Portland to me, I don't know. I just don't know what else you can do. I really don't.
I mean, you can say Portland, you can say Milwaukee, you can say Indiana. The only thing that these teams can do is hire usually. Masai. You got to hire Masai. At this point, Masai is the Olivia Pope of the NBA. But any mid-major team, just bring Masai in, man. He'll figure out something. He'll mess around and sign Josh Childress and then flip him for like Baylor Thugs. Like what he does is just special. Like he's different.
He know how to move his chess pieces, man. He know how to move his chess pieces.
Hey, all he do is make the calls, man.
Hey,
gotta pick up the phone and ask. Just ask.
Pick up the phone now. Call Jerry Maguire. Are you in basketball purgatory? Are you tired of being at the bottom?
Like this commercial.
Are you sick and tired of always constantly losing?
Hell,
You know what to do.
You really
Dial
should.
1-800 Germ McGuire.
Operators are standing
giving
by.
away.
You really should shoot that as a joint though, as a promo joint, because that's you'd be
I
classic with that.
This might be the commercial.
I
Hey,
know we got 1-800 Money MJ. We got 1-800 4 Germ. Operators are standing by.
yeah, mhm.
We also got 1-800 Healthy MJ, man. We keep them mucus levels down. Keep the mucus levels down. Like, not playing with them.
Oh man, you folks crazy. So yeah, and so those are pretty much the stand-ins though with everybody. While LeBron is coming back tonight, I'm just gonna put it out there. It's more of the fear of the fact that the Lakers know that they're gonna lose more games here coming up in this stretch that they have coming up potentially, and they want to go ahead and try to win at least their magic number. Really, if LeBron comes back, is going to be about 6 games. That's their magic number, 6 games.
Yeah,
They can get 6 good wins.
He needs 2 weeks. He need about 2 weeks.
Because anyway, when LeBron, from him playing in Cleveland, he said he uses game 1 of the playoffs to actually get himself together for that. So he'll go out, burn all his energy out in the first 6 minutes of the game, sit down for the rest of the first quarter, and then come back in the second quarter, because that's how he gets his win together for the playoffs.
Interesting.
Yeah.
So
Like I say, I know everything about dude. So when
No.
people say I be hating, I be like, yo, I know the whole.
So his $1 million investment in the offseason don't help at all with this.
Not that part of it. Not that part of it. That's something he's been doing since he was a kid, man. It's
Yeah,
crazy.
I tell you this: if they end up in that 6 hole with the Clippers,
That should be fun. That'd be fun.
that's the Troll MB. That's Troll MB series, man. The Troll Special is a battle of LA in the first round.
Man, listen. I would
might
love.
not. Hey, remember I told y'all last year if Houston didn't beat Oklahoma City, I wasn't gonna be in the group the next day. If we get the battle of LA in the first round, y'all, I'll see y'all for the show.
Yeah, I'm with you on that. I don't think I want no part of
I don't
it.
think I want no parts of what's gonna happen. No.
Hey, if you notice, I don't really comment much in the group no more. I just let the asylum run it. Y'all can have it. Y'all got it from now till playoffs.
MJ like the Texans owner, the Houston Texans owner. He let the inmates run the asylum.
Now I'm like Sunderland owner. The people run it.
Y'all run. People run.
Sunderland AFC, by far the greatest team the world has ever seen.
MJ fully did. MJ is full on into football now.
Zach and Joe, make sure y'all watch it. Stop and Shine FC.
Hey man, let me tell you something.
Make sure y'all watch it, man. Go ahead, John.
Go ahead, Big Shot.
I love it.
Oh,
MJ
man.
is fully indoctrinated into European football, man. He's singing the songs now. That's a beautiful thing, man.
Because the song is so much cap. Like, y'all not the greatest team the world has ever seen. Y'all trash, actually. That's why I remember it.
Hey man. Hey man, let me tell you something. This is why Friday fun is always so much fun.
This is why.
This is what you never know what's gonna get.
We got 2 weeks left in this season. We waiting for the playoffs. So we just freestyling the next Mondays and Fridays till the playoffs get here. So this is what you're gonna get.
Man.
You might get singing, you're gonna get alkaline water.
You definitely get alkaline.
That's what you're gonna get. But look, 94 Feet of Life is the Facebook group. Instagram 94FT of Life. Twitter 94 Feet of Life, all spelled out with the 1 on the end. Is the Twitter, of course, the Scene Umbrella, Healthy Germ, Alkaline MJ. We got Planet Fitness Ham. Ham is back in the weight room.
Yes,
I
sir.
had to go get a second round in. I try to get 2 a days on my off days.
Oh, Ham getting ready for the combine.
Yeah,
For next
exactly.
year,
For next year, prior to 2023,
That's
it
what
might
he
take
getting
me a
ready
little
to
while.
squat a fat girl. That's what he getting ready. He trying to squat a fat girl again.
Hey, I used to squat like 520, so
And
Gonna have
last,
like Betty Raves on Baby Boy.
and last, but nowhere near the least,
No.
happy birthday on camera
my
to
God.
our brother Trav.
No.
Checking in. He's on Glenn Rice territory at 41. Dirk Nowitzki, Glenn Rice, all that good stuff. Happy birthday, Trav. Salute to you, sir.
I
94.
appreciate it.
Birthday,
Yes.
baby.
Yeah, happy birthday, man. So check us
Oh,
on Monday, Freestyle Monday. You never know what's going to come out. Freestyle Friday, you never know what's going to come out. We just getting ready for the playoffs. I'm glad y'all rocking with us, man. 94 feet of light, basketball for the people, by the people. We out here.
Good night, Sunderland.